Recording in progress.
Yep. Good morning, everyone. So last session we learned about how we can use various form elements. In the form elements, so we discussed about how to use number input, how to use a range input, color and the date, email, telephone, and the file. Anything else? We learned about radios, radio buttons. These are the form elements we learned yesterday. How to create number, range, color, date, email, and all. Next, radio buttons. What is the example we learned is radio buttons are used for exhibiting mutex mechanism. If user have to select any one from a group of choices and selection is compulsory, then we have to go with radio. What is the drawback of radio is we cannot uncheck the options, right? Once you check. So it is compulsory that every time when you use radios, you have to use with mutex mechanism. And how radios can exhibit mutex? By having a common name. If all radios have a common name, then they will exhibit mutex mechanism. Next, another after radios, today we will see other elements, checkbox. Another one is checkbox. Actually, checkbox, it allows the user to check and uncheck any option. So user can choose one or multiple from a group of choices. For that, we have to use a checkbox. What is the point about checkbox is checkbox allows to check and uncheck. Same like radio, but radios needs mutex. Checkbox doesn't need any mutex. You can check the option, you can uncheck the option. That is with the help of checkbox. So it's a simple syntax. We need to define input type is checkbox. And checkbox also same. It can have checked. It can have the property like value. If I don't give value, then automatically like radio, checkbox also submits on as value. You saw yesterday, radios are going to submit which value? On. So it is important to define a value. And you need a label for any title for that checkbox. You have to define a label. That is the checkbox. Let's see one simple example. If you know radios, checkbox also same, but they allow to select more than one option. For example, let's create here one simple data list. So I'm creating a field set with a legend, and I said some select courses, and we have an ordered list or unordered list item, and input type is equal to checkbox, and checkbox have a label, some UI, and similarly I will add some items. This is like some Java, some like .NET, like some PHP. All these are options here. And usually checkboxes look like this. These are all checkboxes. User can select and user can deselect the option. The radios will not allow to deselect, but checkboxes allow to deselect the option. If you want by default selected, if you want by default any selected, then you have to give checked. Then you can see by default it is selected. You can uncheck the option, but whenever page refresh, by default it will be selected. It is going to select that. And whenever you submit, whenever we submit the data, they are going to submit. Used to people, hello, what is your problem? Huh? Any serious thing? Then you can't sit calm, then get out. If you can't sit calm, get out of the class. Don't waste our time. Here we want serious people, not time waste people like you. If you're not interested, simply get out of my class. Don't disturb me in the class. This is not for nonsense people. Understood? Huh? Next time I will kick you out of the class. Once you are in class, once we are going with the class, be careful. So here we will choose the options, but remember these are not going to submit the checkboxes. So we cannot submit these because as per the rules, every checkbox needs a name. So we will give a name for checkbox. For example, name, this is course. Every checkbox is given same name, but they are not like radios. Even you give the same name, they are independently selectable and deselectable. Radios, what happens if you give same name? They will exhibit mutex. That means once you choose, another one will be deselected. But checkboxes are not like that. Checkboxes, even you give the same name, all are selectable. But what they will submit, by default, they submit same like radio on. For example, if I submit, you see all are on. Then we need a value for these options. First value is UI. So second value is Java. And third value is .NET like this. And the fourth value is PHP like this. And when you are selecting the values, and submitting, only those values are submitted. Course UI, course Java, and course PHP. We can access and we can use them. Later you will learn how to access them and work with them. That is JavaScript, right? Now, what is difference between radio and checkbox? Radios, out of all, user can choose any one. And checkboxes, user can select one or more than one. So radios, user cannot uncheck. You have to uncheck by using mutex. Checkboxes, user can check and uncheck. This is one example about checkbox. Now in many uh, interview requirements, they ask like how to design a checkbox list. How to design a checkbox list. In many interviews, they ask this. Checkbox list means, for example, like this, 20 courses are there. How much length you will show? When there are 20, 30 courses, showing them all on the screen, column wise, side by side, it will take a lot of screen space. Then what they want a scrollable checkbox so that user can scroll and choose which one he wants. Like that, HTML don't have any checkbox list. HTML don't have any checkbox list. We have to manually create them. By using CSS and all, we have to create. For example, in the majority of real-time requirements, they ask how to design a checkbox list. Checkbox list, because mostly in several websites, you will see a checkbox list. How to design a checkbox list, how we can create. Simple actually. So currently we kept all the list in UL, unordered list. For this unordered list, I will give a style. For unordered list, we have to remove the symbol. How to remove the symbol for unordered list? We have to use list style. List style as none. It will remove the list there. After that, for unordered list, I will give border. 1 pixel solid gray. That is the border we are applying. We are applying the border there. And you see there is a border. After that, we will define width. Width as 100 pixel. You will see the width is adjusted. After that, we will give height. Height as 50 pixel. The height is like this. And height is less and the contents are more than the height. Then we have to just put an option, overflow auto. Overflow auto means if any content is overflowing, then automatically it will put a scroll bar. And you can see now it becomes a checkbox list. This is called checkbox list. Alignment you can change. Suppose you given margin left minus 30 pixel. It will be, this is which one? Padding left minus 30. It will be little left. Now you can see here, this is the checkbox list. Checkbox list, there is no such checkbox list in HTML. We have to design like this with the help of CSS. If there are many items user have to choose, then we create such list, right? So for that, what options we have given? We given a border, we given height, and overflow as what? Auto. Remember, depending on height. If height is more, then scroll bar will not come. Scroll bar will come if height is less and items are more than the height. Then scroll bar will display. Then user can select multiple from the list. This is called checkbox list. How to design checkbox list? The answer, by using style attribute, the style attribute overflow. So with height and width. So this is what we have to define, height and width. This is the example. I will just give an example there. This is the example for checkbox list. That is the example for checkbox list. So radio buttons also, you can create a list if there are many. checkboxes also we can create a list if there are many, right? So actually some technologies have such checkbox list, but JavaScript, HTML don't have. We have to manually create them. That's the reason the question is asked, because some technologies ready-made have them. So we have to create like that. That is what the point about checkbox list. So if user have to select one option, better go with radio. User have to select multiple options, then better go with the checkbox. But checkboxes and radios are difficult for adding and removing dynamically. Suppose list is constant, list is standard, and regularly the same list will be there. Then it is okay. You can go with radio or checkbox. But list is not standard. It will be changing regularly. Every day some new items are adding, some items are removed. It's not a standard list. Then if list is regularly changing, then better use a drop down. Better use a drop down list. Drop down list advantage is it will display a list. From that user can select any one item. So actually it can configure a list of items from where user can select any one item from list. Same like radio. But what is the major advantage is it is easy to add or remove items dynamically with the script. Later, whenever it is required, through script, we can easily add items, remove items, update items. If a list is not standard, it is regularly changing, better use drop downs. So actually, drop down list is created by using select. It is created by using select. Items in a list are created by using option. We have list with select and option, and items can be grouped by using OPT group. You can group items by using OPT group. So drop down list is created by using three things. We have select, we have option, and we have option group. Let's see how to create a drop down list. For example, suppose we are visiting some website like some Inox. You see, this is Inox. And in this Inox movies website, you can see, suppose this is city. Actually, in this Inox movies website, these are movie names, cinema, date, timing. These are not standard. Every few days, movies are changing, show timings are changing. That is why they are dropped down. That means these are called drop down list. So we can create such drop down list. For example, let's see here how to create a drop down list. So you see, this is a drop down list. This is the drop down list with some set of options. User can choose any one option from drop down. When user selects any option from the drop down, automatically it is going to display another. Actually, these all functionality is with combination of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, all are required. But how to create such drop downs? To create such drop downs, we need this option. Let's see. For example, I am creating here a simple field set. Yeah, I will give here a legend, and we will give a name as select a product, and we are keeping a select. Select gives an empty drop down. You can see select gives an empty drop down. Now we want to put some items in it. Then we will create an option. And the first option I given televisions. Okay. And another option like mobiles. Another option like casuals. And another option like boots, like this. Now you can see here. So you can see they all display like this, drop down. But very important here is, suppose we want the drop down items category wise. Category wise, these two belongs to one category, this belongs to another category. Then we can keep these options in OPT group. In one group, two options are there. Another OPT group. In another group, another set of options are there. We have option group here. Now, generally, it is not just only group. What is this group name? We have to give that by using label. Every option group have a label. Label that group name electronics. And this group label some footwear, like this we define. Now automatically you can see that it will display the category wise. So groups can be created so that we can display category wise. But by default, televisions is there. Generally for that, what we do, we create one option and we will say select any product, something, and it will give that as an option. So by default, select any product, or I given here as choose one, and this is choose one. And I click here, it will open. You can choose any one of these. Group name is not selectable. Only the items in the group are selectable. This is how we can define. So how to create a simple drop down? Actually, group is not compulsory. Only when you have categories, you put a group. If there are no categories, then simply put in one. Even you saw the movies website, they don't have a group. But if they have some movies website have a group, like English movies, all in one group, Hindi movies, all in one group, like that. So if they put a group, that is good. It's not necessary that they have to use. So how do we write? We have a select. In that select, usually OPT group, it will have a label. Label can have some title. And after that, in OPT group, you have an option. Option, some item one. And similarly, we have option. So that is item 2, like this. And once it is done, OPT group is completed. And we stop select. That's how we create a list. That's a simple. Now, here several points are there again. What are the points is, first thing you have to know that select element can have attributes. What are the attributes for select? It can have ID, it can have name, it can have class. So these are the attributes of select. And option element can have attributes. Actually, option have attributes like we have. One is selected. Another one is disabled. Disabled. Another one is value. Selected, disabled, value. These are the attributes of which one option. Selected means it makes the item, it keeps the item selected automatically. It keeps the item selected automatically. Disabled means it will not allow to select item. Select item. If you give disabled, it will not allow to select. Value means it defines the value to submit. What value you want to submit. So every option have three things. We have option selected, option disabled, and option value. For example, see now here, we are writing here a button. Button is submit. Okay. Now I selected some mobiles and submit. It's not submitted. You know why? Why it is not submitted? In order to submit the value of any element, that element should have a name. Name is what? Suppose I given as product. Now I select any mobiles and submit, then product is mobiles. Now in some websites, what they do is, for example, you see IRCTC, flight tickets or hotels. Generally in the drop down, they will give you from station to station like that. But in their database, stations have code, right? For example, Hyderabad International Airport. Then they have a code RGI something. That means actually in the database, it is not the name that you see. In the database, that is different. But what you see is different. That means generally when you are booking a ticket, they will ask enter flight number. How do I know flight number? They will ask enter train number. How do I know train numbers? If I know, I will type. If I don't know train number, then they will ask search trains between station. You will search train between station. It will show list of trains. You will select one train. Then that train number is used in the background. That means what to show you is different. What to collect from you is different. How it is possible? Actually, currently, what it is showing, the same it is submitting. But what you show and what you submit is different. In that case, we have to give value. Value defines what to submit. That means, for example, for television, I am giving value as ELE TV. That is some code for it. And I given some 001. That is a code for televisions. For example, for mobiles, it is value ELEMOB and 01. Now you observe here, I am selecting televisions and submit. It is not submitting televisions. It will submit the value. So what you see is convenient for you, but what you see is not convenient for their database. They need unique references. In that case, they use a different value when you submit it. That is defined by using value. If I don't give value, what you see is submitted. That means what is the option text? That option text will be submitted. So value is defined, then value will be submitted. Sometimes what you see, what you submit, both are same. Sometimes what you see, what you submit are different. If you want like that, then you have to define a value. In that value, you can give same value or different value. For example, so I written like this, suppose, so casuals. and value is suppose like Nike some casuals. Like this, I define 2023, something like this. And usually they select casuals and submit. It will get that Nike casuals 2020. So what you see, what they submit, they can be different. That is defined by using value. Now, another point, sometimes when you open any website, according to your city, they automatically select one city. How they can get from which city you are accessing, that you will learn in JavaScript. We will write a program. That program will run on the computer and it will identify from which city they are using. And it can get that city latitude, longitude on Google Maps, and we can identify from which city they are accessing. That is a general JavaScript program. We will learn in basic of JavaScript. We will see that. Now, whenever anybody opens our website, what we do? Sometimes we ask, what is your city? Sometimes we ask, allow your location. If you allow the location, what happens? Automatically that city is selected. That means whenever page opens, by default, I want one option selected. Then what you can do is, any option, suppose I want mobiles selected, then I will keep selected. And automatically when page opens, by default, mobiles is there. We can change the selection. But whenever you refresh, it will be mobiles. That you can define by using which one select. Another important, sometimes some options are not selectable because suppose a product is out of stock. When a product is out of stock in a city, will they remove that city? They will not remove the city. They will keep it, but they will not allow to select because again, it will be available after few days. We don't remove, we just disable. That means now I want to disable here some Nike casuals. We just put disabled. Then you can see that here it is disabled. You cannot select that option. You cannot choose that option. It is disabled. So if you don't want the user to select, then you can just keep disabled. These are general options. Depending on requirement, we use them. So how do we do that? Option contains selected, or option contains disabled, and option contains value, whatever value you want to submit. These are option related attributes. So when you are having a list of items and you want user to select any one item, and that list is not standard, which can be changing. How to change later you will learn. Because changing items, adding, removing items, we can do by using JavaScript, right? Now, what is problem in this is, one problem is that the problem in this is, so select and option are RC data type. They are RC data type elements. What I explained about RC data type, remembered in the beginning? In the beginning, I explained HTML element types. How many types of elements are there? 5 types. What are those? Normal elements, void elements, RC data elements, raw text elements, foreign elements. What is RC data type? What is RC data type? I explained detailedly about every type. RC data type elements will not allow any another element inside. They will not allow any another element inside. They are used for only plain text. Suppose I want here this television's bold. I want the television's bold. Then you see here, I am writing these televisions in a B. Understood? And I written in B. And you see here in the output, it's not there. Suppose beside television, I want a television symbol. You can't have. But you might have seen such drop downs. But in HTML, it is not possible. Such drop downs are designed by using another concept called bootstrap. We use CSS bootstrap for designing such drop down. That means if you see icons, symbols, or any format for items, it is not possible here. It is not possible. You cannot do that. That's not possible. That is why option and select are considered as what type of element? RC data type. For example, you see websites like so many websites. Suppose we have Netflix. This is some Netflix website. When you open Netflix website, you see there is a drop down. In this drop down, beside it, there is a globe symbol. It's not possible like that. This is a drop down designed by using bootstrap. By using bootstrap, we can create such options by using bootstrap. Now, important is why they used bootstrap for this. Why they used bootstrap for this? Because is this list regularly changing? That is not the list regularly changing. It has only 2 languages. It will not change. Rarely, if after 1 year, 2 years, one more language comes, they will add it. But this is not the list which frequently changes. In that case, we design by using general HTML. If list is regularly changing, design HTML. If list is not changing, then go with bootstrap. In bootstrap, what is advantage? Everything is a div and span. Then you can put any icons, symbols, images, anything. It is not possible in dropdown. What is the meaning of RC data type? So they will not allow any any icon or format for element. That's what important is. This is example. I will give one example. Let me copy this. I am copying this example for you. This is called drop down list. That's a drop down list. To create a drop down list, we are having these options. So select and OPT and OPT group. Just a simple point. What is problem in drop down list? Drop down list problem, you cannot select more than one. You can select only one at a time. You cannot select more than one. Then you can use a list box now. List box, it is same like drop down list, but allows to select multiple. Very, very simple. Actually, all elements are same as drop down. Important, drop down will transform into list box by using 2 attributes. Those attributes are, one is size, another one is multiple. That means everything same, no change, just a simple point. The point is, I want this as Yeah. I want this as list box, not as drop down. Just only one simple thing. Go to select and here you put size as 2. It changes from drop down to list box now. It is a list box now. You set size as 3 or 4. It becomes a list box now. It's simple. Change your drop down to list box with just size. If I don't give size, then it is a drop down. If I give size, then it is a list box. That's simple. But what is specialty? List box allows to select more than one, but here it is not allowing. For that, we have to just add one more multiple. Already yesterday I showed you file also have multiple. That means you can select more than one file. If I say multiple, user can select both. User can select first one and control key, last one. You can use control key. You can select first one, shift key, and it will select all of them. Shift key means all. You can select, click and drag, it will select. And you submit, it will submit both values here. So very, very simple. Change your drop down into list box. That is the reason by seeing this, many people ask like, okay, you designed a list box. How to select more than one? How to select more than one? You will give multiple. Okay. How user will select more than one? How user will select more than one? He will click and drag, or he will use control key to select, or he will use shift key to select. Mobile. How mobile people will select then? Clicking and dragging is difficult on mobile. Control, alt, no. That's the reason they say that, okay, like this, you create a list box with checkboxes. Checkboxes. What is advantage? User can scroll and user can check which one he wants. Is that possible in a list option? In a option, can you put a checkbox? In an option, we cannot put a checkbox. Just now we saw it is RC data type. Na? RC data type means in an option, there can be only text. You cannot put a checkbox. Then how to create a checkbox list? We use the previous technique learned. We create an ordered list or unordered list. We will make it like a checkbox list. So we have a simple option for this. Syntactically, you have to just give select size is some 3 or 4. And you have to define multiple if you want to select more than one. In that OPT group is same. We can use label and title. In that option is also same. Option contains value. Options contains selected. Option contains what? Disabled. I am just giving syntax. So we have to keep only what we need. So here OPT group and close the select. This is a list box. A drop down and a list box. Drop down and list box elements are same. Just only one size attribute you change, they will work. Okay. This is list box. No need of example. Same previous example, you change with size. Then it will become a list box, right? Next important, we have text area. Next, in the form elements, we have text area. Text area, it is used for multi-line text. Multi-line text. Text area is used for multi-line text. Multi-line text is nothing but you can type text in more than one line. Actually, in text box, it is not possible. in text box, you cannot type more than one line. For example, you see, suppose I am writing here field set. I will put a data list, data term. So here field set have a legend. Legend is your comments. And data term here I said email, and data definition we will keep input type is equal to email. And here, so data term your message, and your message temporarily I am keeping input type as text. Then what happens here, I will put a button called post comment. Okay, comment, and you will see that it is like this. We will enter our email. After that message, I am typing some message. It is in only one line. If I want to display multiple lines, if I hit enter, it is submitted. It will not come to next line. So if you want more than one line, then you can use, instead of text, you can put text area. Text area, automatically you will see a text area like this. If you want, you can type the text inside, then automatically it will give a scroll bar. And you can display text in multiple lines. And here, if you want, you can adjust it. That it define multi-line text. Attributes, it have attributes as, what are the attributes? It is having an attribute called rows. It have calls. It have like read only, and it have disabled. Remember, I am not giving ID, name, class every time because they are common everywhere. For every element, ID, name, class are common. Only additional things we are learning here. So rows, columns, read only. You see now, I am writing text area, rows. Rows is equal to 4. Then it will increase the height. So calls is equal to 40. It will increase the width. We can define different width and height. And very interesting is, sometimes, suppose you see, I'm using license terms. And here I am defining data definition, text area. And rows is 4 and calls is 40. You can directly have times. So terms of service, we can directly put some text. Terms of service, some accept our terms and conditions. Like this we are writing. You can see by default, it contains some text inside. And if you actually, this can be modified. We don't want to modify, we can keep read only, but read only will submit. We don't want to submit also, just only see. Then we can keep it as disabled. Then you can see this is disabled. You can just read. If content is more, scroll bar will come. Automatically scroll bar will come. If you are typing more content, then scroll bar will be added automatically. So that is different places where we use text area. Again, problem is text area is RC data. If you remembered in RC data, first I explained about text area. Text area is nothing but it is RC data, means it will not allow formats, symbols, icons, pictures. You can't put them. Suppose I want to display some picture. I want to put formats. Then like that you can design by using div. You can create a div. You can put some paragraph in the div. For div, you can put height and width. You can put overflow auto. Then it will become like a text box. It is scrollable list automatically. So this is text area. Suppose we are adding here, what we are adding, another data definition here, uh, input type is equal to what? Checkbox, and label I defined I accept, like this. You see, this is a checkbox below. This is a general form interface you will see everywhere. For text box also, email also we can adjust the size now. Email size is equal to what? 40. It will keep it lengthy. That depends. You can adjust that. This is actually the purpose of text area. And what is important about text area? Syntax. We have text area. So rows is equal to, some calls is equal to, and text area close. Text area close. Like this we can define. In the example, I will give you different methods. This example I will copy. One text area is empty text area. Another text area is having some text inside. Now, what is the problem with this is actually text area element is also RC data type. So it will not allow the complex data inside. Only plain text content we can keep. This is another element that you see in forms. Suppose you are asking address, you are asking comments, you are creating chat boxes, then all those are designed by using what? Text areas. Right? So these are options. Drop down, list box, another one, text area. Next important, we have meter elements. We have meter. Meter is a new element. Actually, it is used to display grade meters. Grade meter. So you can change dynamically by using script. By using script, you can change. But usually these grade meters are very common these days. For example, you see the website, Flipkart or something. Let's keep any product. I am selecting some product. I click on this product detail. In product detail, you can see actually these are meters. These are meters. So these are actually meters. They are meters. For example, see how it is simple point actually. Let's say here how to design those meters. So let's say here we are adding, because you see star symbol means link, relation, style sheet, href. It is node modules. In that bootstrap icons, font icons, CSS. Okay, here I am creating a div. So in that we have in the div, okay, we have a span. And here I will keep a heading first, that is reviews and ratings. And in this span, we have class name, class BI and BI star fill. Okay. And beside this, we have a meter element. And here we meter left side, we have a label. The label is having, actually label is here. We have 5. Okay. And label is having what it is having. So it is not having label this side. Label is right side. Here it is having some 159. 159, something like this. And important, this 5 also I will keep in a label. Okay. In a label, I will keep that 5. So label, after that span, after that meter, after that one more label, I am giving like this. Usually The meter is displayed like this. Let's run this and see. It will display like this. It is going to display like this. I will adjust the width here. Just what you do, meter width as suppose 200 pixel. Its size adjusted now. Meter is adjusted in size. Now in this actually, so meter is having meter. You can set grade meter with attributes. We have attributes called min. We have max. We have value. We have low and we have high. Low and high. These are the meter values. That means we have to write like this syntactically. Meter, min is how much, max is how much, value is how much, low is how much, and high is how much. What are those values? I will show you now. Like this, we need to define. Now you see here, I am giving, so meter, min is equal to 1, max is equal to 100. Then it doesn't have anything, same. But I give an value as 100. How much max? Value also same. Then it will fill up with green. That's how it will show. For example, I given another div here, same div. And next time I given 4-star rating from some 69 people or some 60 people, and value I will give as suppose 30. Then it looks like this. These values will be changing the bars. They will be changing the bar, increasing, decreasing, based on number, count is increasing. Usually JavaScript will control that. JavaScript will increase the bar slowly, decrease the bar. So depending on the value you pass. In JavaScript, you will see that is moving also. That means you can make it animate. Animate means the bar continuously growing, number of ratings increasing. That is actually done by this, right? It depends on minimum, it depends on maximum, and it depends on value. Minimum how much, maximum how much, value. Actually, they have colors also. For example, suppose I am defining another one. In this, I am giving, suppose 2-star. I said 2-star. And a 2-star, suppose that is 20 people have given 2-star. Then I will give here low is 40 and high is 80. That means low and high distance is how much? It is 40. And high must be less than maximum. What is maximum? 100 na? And low must be greater than minimum. It is already greater than minimum. And you can see that it will show like this color. A different color will come. Suppose what happens is, suppose, so 1-star rating. I given 1-star rating from suppose 5 people. And now low and high, low is 60, high is 80. That means less gap between low and high, then it turns to red color. If low and high have less gap, then it will be red color. If low and high have more gap, then it will be yellow. If low and high are 0, then it will be green. Previously, why it is green? Because I haven't written low and high for that. If I don't write low and high, by default, it is how much? 0. Low 0, high 0. In that, it will be green color. We can change that. We can display. This is the purpose of a meter actually. These days, these are used in lot of ways, right? This is example for that meter. How we can use the meter. For grade meters, we have this meter. Now, another option is there. We have a progress, same like meter progress. Actually, progress, it is used to show the status of any task performed, performed in page. So, such as installing, copying, downloading like this, downloading, etc. All these things. For example, you made a money transaction. It will say loading, please wait. These days, we don't use progress because in mobiles and all, we use spinners. Spinners will be spinning and showing loading like that. But this is an legacy type, old type. These days, we don't prefer this. We prefer using spinners and add the spinners. Spinners, I will show you. We need bootstrap for that. Actually, progress is nothing but simple. Suppose let's see how this progress works. Here also status will be there. I will show you how progress is going to work. So I given progress as width 200 pixels. I'm adding here a data list, data term, some preparing for download, something like this. And data definition, I just kept progress, and progress will be like this animated. It will show an animated progress bar. This you can start continuously growing and show 10% complete, 50% complete, download complete. Through JavaScript, we show that. Through JavaScript, we control that speed. We control that processing, and we will show the value, how much it is happening. Right? This is preparing for download. Actually, progress have same options. So attributes are same, like what it have min, it have max and value. Only three options will be there. Min, max and value. So that means you see now, this is progress. I am creating another data term. Suppose 40% completed. How do we show 40% completed progress? Min is equal to 1, max is 100, value is how much? 40. Then it will show 40% completed. So you can say, suppose 80% completed. So 80% completed, then we will give the value as how much? 80. Then 80% completed. How you will show download completed? So how you saw download completed? Download completed. You can put value as 100. Value as 100, it shows completed. These are different status. Actually, we will not show like this. We will put a slider and gradually percent will be increasing. 5%, 10%, 20%. For that, we need to write JavaScript logic. And these are very important for showing the status of any task performed in the page. Syntactically, so we have progress, we have min, and we have max, and we have value. Like this, we can define a progress. This is example for that progress. How we can define different types of progress options. This is example. So we have meters and we have progress. Meters are used for grade meters. Progress are used with for showing the status. How much time remaining, how much time completed, all such things we can do by using this. Right? This is the concept of progress. Next important, we have in the form elements, one more form elements is buttons. Buttons. Already we know buttons used, but detailedly you should know. Actually, what is purpose of button? So generally buttons are used for confirming user actions. Buttons are used for confirming user actions. Any user action is confirmed by using a button. right? What are the conforms? That means it includes like, so it includes various actions. Like you have suppose navigation. Navigation means we have like previous, we have like next, we have like first, we have like last, we have like go to. All these are navigation actions. We have like record actions. Record actions means what? Like we have new, we have like register, we have like submit, we have like reset, we have like insert, we have like update, we have like delete. All such actions are designed by using buttons, right? We have like miscellaneous actions. Miscellaneous actions like we have print, we have save, like we have open, so we have like close, we have like minimize, right? Minimize. All such things we do by using buttons. So buttons are used for conforming the user actions. It can be navigation actions, record actions, miscellaneous actions, so many. But what you need to know is actually HTML provides two types of buttons. One is generic buttons and non-generic buttons. Two types of buttons are there. We have generic buttons and non-generic button. Actually, generic means generic buttons have predefined functionality. Generic buttons have predefined functionality means they automatically have some work to do. You don't need to write any logic. Automatically, they do some work. Those are generic buttons. And we have two generic buttons. One is submit, another one reset. These buttons are generic buttons. And usually what is submit is nothing but it can submit form data. Reset, it can reset form data. You don't need to write any logic. They will automatically do it. Without writing any logic, they have a default functionality. And how to design them? Actually, two versions are there. HTML4 you can design, HTML5. HTML4 buttons actually input type is submit and input type is reset. What is problem in HTML4 buttons? HTML4 buttons, they are RC data type. RC data type means you in a button you want icons, symbols, logos. You can't have. Only plain text. Not even symbols. Special characters you can have. So in that case, people these days use HTML5 buttons. HTML5 buttons are designed like this. Button type is submit. And what is this? It is a button tag close. What is advantage of this one? In this, you can put a text, you can put an image, you can put an icon, anything. Any combination you can add. So similarly, we have button type. Button type as what? Reset. You can have text, you can have image, you can have icon like this button. So there are two choices. You create HTML4 buttons. 4 buttons are lightweight because they don't use complex icons, symbols and all. So they are fast. If you don't want any icons and symbols, you want a simple, fast, lightweight button, then go with HTML4. If you want icons, symbols, animations and all, then you go with HTML5. And these are generic buttons. Without writing any functionality, they have a functionality. For example, you see here, suppose I am writing something like inside the form, I am writing like, so username. and we have a text box. Input type is equal to text and name is username. Okay. Beside this text box, we have input type as submit. This is a button. You can see it is a button. You have input type as reset. This is also a button. You can see two buttons. And what is specialty is I am typing something, click reset, it will cancel. I am not writing any function here. But by default, they have some work. That is why they are called as what? Generic buttons, right? And the submit button by default submit the form data. So these are generic buttons. If you want to create an ordinary button, that means non-generic. Non-generic button is ordinary. Ordinary button without functionality. Without any functionality. We have to write the functionality. And same in HTML4, how to create input type is what? Button. And you can put some value for that. Value something you want. In HTML5, how you create? In HTML5, we have to create button type as what? Button. We have to define like this. Text, picture, or anything you can add. So these are buttons and they don't have any default work. For example, see now, I am adding here. I'm adding same thing. So here I'm adding in the next line. Next, we have button. Button type. Button type is what? Submit. Remember, if you create a button without type, it is default submit. If you create any button without type, then by default it is submit. Right? So here I will say, so HTML5 submit. And this is another button. So type is what? Reset. So HTML5 reset. And you can see both are working in the same way. You type something, reset, it will reset. You type something and click on submit, it will submit. It is going to submit the data and display the data. Only the point is, what is specialty? Here you can add anything now. Span, class, BI, suppose person. So like this I add, you can put an icon here. Symbols, icons, anything you can add there. Right? Which is not possible in HTML4 buttons. 4 buttons. And if I write like button, it is by default which button? Submit. By default submit button. Suppose I say register. And you can see there is register and I type something, register, it is submitted. So if you don't mention type, by default type is submit. I define here type. What is the type? Type is button. So it will not do anything. Now I type something and I click register, it's not submitting. If you want a button with your own functionality to write, then better you can use this one. Right? So we have a lot of buttons options. HTML4 buttons, HTML5 buttons, generic buttons, and non-generic. These are all the options required for a form. Understood? These are all the options required for a form. Now, by learning all these, now you are ready to design forms. Now we will take some website forms and we will try to create. Like you can visit websites. Suppose we have Instagram. So we must able to create a form like this. We must able to create a form like this. You open something like Amazon, right? Amazon. And in that you must able to create a form like this, right? Including those colors, effects, and styles. For that, I will tell you how to define. Some bootstrap options are used. So we must able to create such lengthy forms like this. If we can create such forms, that's simple, very good. Now we can handle these forms, right? This is important that we will see in our next session, right? Tomorrow we will do that. In tomorrow's session, we will learn how to create real-time forms with some real-time designs. We will take some websites, we will try to create them so that we will get a complete idea on forms. After forms, two topics are there: tables, multimedia. With that, we finish HTML. We will go into CSS now. In CSS in depth. Already we are learning little bit CSS. We will go more into that. So now in the next session, first we will see tomorrow session entire with examples. And we will use complete advanced features to make the form look like real-time forms. Those all features I will explain tomorrow. Okay, na?